Alright, listen up everyone. They've announced that the technical regulations are changing for next season. Now there's a risk a lot of our hard work could be undone if we're not careful, so let's figure out how to mitigate this. Drivers, take a look at the developments we have and let us know what you want to invest in protecting. Alright everyone, let's get on top of this.
I mean, I don't know why you say drivers. Literally, Lando's done all this season. Are you joking?
Anyway, upgrades? Absolutely yes. And we're getting ever closer to Mercedes in a development race. They're getting the shivers. The game is well and truly on. And the regulation change that Fraud Karl was talking about is to the powertrain and to the durability. Let's go. Hello all, Karl here, and welcome back once again to my F1 2019 career mode. Straight into qualifying here at Singapore then, and it's pretty vital that we get track position here because it's very difficult to overtake. You've got the straight coming out of turn number 4, but apart from that, you haven't got many opportunities. So coming through the last corner, let's see where we are going to be. It is P5 so far. Not gonna lie guys, I am an angry boy, and I'm so angry that I didn't even show the leaderboard, so let's just get on with it. Right about now then, our last flying lap for qualifying here at Singapore, and as you can see, we got a Red Bull ahead of us. It's not going very well, ladies and gents. But flying through turns 1, 2, and 3, gaining some time in the third turn, which is a good thing, because otherwise I was going to be a bit concerned. Lovely camera view there, seeing absolutely nothing of what is going on other than that thick back end of the McLaren. Coming through the last sector though, tyre heating has played havoc on us all weekend through this part, and it's no different here. We're still P5, and as you can see, the car's feeling really weird. We take interesting track limits, but through the last corner we come, and across the line now, where are we gonna be?
Nice job.
I can't lie, ladies and gents, I am not in a good mood right now. Do you see a smile on my face? You can't anyway, because there's no face cam. Joke's on you.
It's P4. For lack of a better term, it is P4. We got beaten by fucking teammate Norris, and I'm not a happy bunny at all. In fact, the matter of fact is that on default setup, we're as quick as the AI, but with a setup like we've been using the whole weekend, we are not as quick. So that's just great. But you all know what we do. We never give up, and we are going to do our best to steal away a podium and maybe even a win. It is time for the race. Hi there, my soul is dead here, and as you can probably tell, I am in an even worse mood than I was after qualifying. So after the most sweltering race I've ever had to do in my entire life, I check back at the footage, and it turns out my Elgato has actually turned into a millionaire shortbread, and this is the footage I got. Great! So what do you do when you lose an entire recording, which you were absolutely raging about? That's right, you do it in about 64p in paint.net. So ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Singapore... Oh dear. That's not very healthy. I don't know how the Indian spelling got in there in the first bit, and the stretchiness of the flag, but there you go.
And also a cheeky little subscribe at the bottom right. If you haven't done so already, go and do it now. I will hunt you down.
Sat on the grid for the race then, Hamilton on pole, Norris second, Bottas third, then it's me, and then it's Vettel, and then I don't care about anyone else. Now the most tense part of a Grand Prix, waiting for the lights to go out. One light, lights out, and away we go for Singapore's biggest cockerel, and into turn 1, Norris goes for the lead on Hamilton, which is insane. However, Vettel is trying to overtake us. However, we slam that door on him. Norris and Hamilton still side by side through turn 3. It was excellent stuff. However, by the time they got down the straight, Hamilton had got ahead thanks to superior Mercedes engine power, and after that, the four of us were in tandem in the positions we started in. Coming across the line for the end of lap 1, it's Hamilton from Norris, from Bottas, from myself. Beginning of lap 2, Charles Leclerc went out of the race. Cool. And by the end of the lap, Hamilton in his marshmallow car had slightly got away, and then Norris, Bottas and myself were quite close together. However, my tyres were hotter than the surface of the sun, and so I was thinking, what is my next strategy ploy? And if you've watched my career modes before, which I'm sure some of you, if not most of you, have, the answer is, it's undercut time. So in I come to the pits with my smug face. We're going to go past the Williams pit box and fit a set of medium tyres. This undercut seemed to pay off massively as we got a couple of laps undercut on the leaders and were the fastest on track by miles. However, the worst bit was, of course, as soon as Hamilton pitted, we got stuck behind Alex Albon. And as his initials would entail, he was really driving like an AA driver. Bloody slowly. And as a result, we were stuck behind him. All the way through.
Are you f***ing serious right now?
As a result, Hamilton got the overcut. And needless to say, I'm going to blow up Albon. So I go round the outside of him into turn 1. And for some reason, his counter name changed. But what can I say? It's true. Luckily, we get the undercut on Bottas and Norris. However, after that, Hamilton got stuck behind George Russell. And as his initials would entail, I was getting very cross. Because, of course, we get stuck behind Russell at the same point as we did with Albon. And as we come through, I'm thinking, I can't be asked to sit behind. I had to do it before. So I barge him out of the way. And we make our way up into second place. And that's all that happened at this Singapore Grand Prix, because Hamilton was keeping up with my pace and Norris wasn't catching me. Subscribe for more. So as we come across the line on the final lap, Norris did catch up a bit because my tyres went completely off, but it's a double podium for McLaren. Hamilton does win the Singapore Grand Prix, but no one cares about that. Double podium for Maka, Bottas in 4th place, and it's a pretty damn good weekend for the team. And after chugging a bottle of champagne and eating so many edibles, I become thick. We preserve 3 of the power unit upgrades, and now it's time for the Russian Grand Prix. Looking at the development chart, as we didn't upgrade at all. Mercedes do bring an upgrade though, so maybe we should be scared going into this weekend. Nah, we're gonna destroy them. Let's do it.
Oh, we're so screwed.
Qualifying for Communist Grand Prix then, hurtling down this first main straight, even though it has a corner. Hamilton on pole again. What a surprise that is. Diving into turn 1, take a bit of curb. I use 3rd gear to get a bit more bite into the corner, and then it's full throttle round this left-hander. Absolutely no question about that. But coming onto the end of the lap, through the last 2 corners, taking lots of curb and then a bit more, and we are going to end up in P3 so far. Not too bad. Once again, apparently no leaderboard for you all, so that's a shame. Let's just get on with it, shall we? One final push then for the Russian Grand Prix qualifying, using a bit more of the AstroTurf on the outside to get a bit more speed. However, that hasn't worked because we're down on our time. So that's not a great start at all. However, we need to pull every rabbit out of our small hat to try and get pole here. Braking for turn 1, just clipping that apex and trying not to use too much of that curb on the outside there. Otherwise, it unsettles the car quite badly. Up on our time, as you can see, coming through this turn, and
We don't need to talk about track limits, guys.
taking lots of curb on the inside there, but not too much just to cut it. But we do slide out a bit at the exit, and we're trying to push as hard as we can, like a stabbed rodent. Qualifying is complete. We're cutting corners here and there, but not too much. It's a purple middle sector. Hamilton is shivering like a beaver in an Arctic storm, and we are loving every single moment of it. However, we're getting caught in Kevin Magnussen's dirty air, and that is not good news at all here. So coming through the last corner, has he impacted us too much? Where are we gonna be?
Nice job.
Now that's what I call beautiful. Disc 1. P2 for us, not even a 10th off Hamilton's time. However, what's not so beautiful, and I forgot to mention this earlier, is we have a 10-place grid penalty for the race tomorrow, which is not good at all because I'm not very good in moist conditions. Right, okay, listen, let's not discuss that sentence ever again. Blame the control electronics unit for the penalty. We've got a lot of work to do tomorrow, so let's get to it.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. Were those faults a bad omen for qualifying and the race?
Faults? What faults? Claire, were you even watching the same qualifying session as me? What the fuck?
How's your grid penalty going to affect your strategy going into the race?
Right, one more stupid question. I'm going to rage my tits off.
You left some...
So, unfortunately, we've picked up some grid penalties, and we'll be starting further back than you expect. As for how bad it is, that'll depend on what the other drivers get.
We need a good
good result today if we want to catch Hamilton in the Drivers' Championship.
Lights out and away we go for the KGB Grand Prix. I don't think I can say that, can I? Oh, God. Welcome to the Animal Farm Grand Prix, and it's an okay start against the rest of the AI. We actually started P10, courtesy of some other penalties. However, Hulkenberg's trying to already overtake us, but luckily breaking early for turn 1. We've all started on slicks, which is a quite interesting development there. Perez trying to push us off the track, and it's 3 wide going into turn number 3 here. And it's scintillating racing. Perez slows down, and as does the Renault car of Hulkenberg, and we're going to go around the outside of both of them. Breathless stuff. I need a drink of some kind because my throat's dying, but that's not important. We keep P8 for now, and that is excellent. And now our job is to hopefully not bin it into the wall and catch Verstappen and overtake him. However, come the end of lap 1, he's gone. That's not very good news at all. Onto lap 3, though, things aren't as bad as I first foretold. Verstappen just over a second ahead. Hulkenberg still roughly on the back of us, but we are inching closer to the pack of cars ahead. A Racing Point and a Toro Rosso fighting ahead of Verstappen. Is that Alexander Albon who's made a scorcher of a start? Yes, it is. They're fighting away and they're slowing each other up. So hopefully we can catch up very soon. And on the last sector of the same lap, it does seem that way. Lower ERS modes is what we are using to get some kick off of the corners and some good traction as a result, even though we are going slightly wide into some corners. But we don't need to mention that. Onto lap number 4, we are under a second compared to Verstappen, and we're going to have DRS, and we're going to lunch that slipstream like a hungry turkey, and that is quite excellent. Once again, the 2 ahead of Verstappen fighting away. This time, I believe Alexander Albon getting supremacy. No, Butler just ahead of Albon, and we keep on grinding away. It's becoming quite the train here at the Russian Grand Prix. Butler and Albon slowing the pack behind down, and it's just become a snaily effect behind. We are, as a result, coming into the last sector right on the back of Verstappen, and despite saying that I'm not very good in moist conditions, which is something you don't hear a teenage boy say very often, it looks like we are going to overtake Verstappen very soon. As we come through the last corner, he is defending, and we clip a bollard and cut the corner, but we don't need to mention that because our exit is absolutely supreme, and with DRS, we're going to absolutely mince Verstappen as we have a low downforce setup, and that is P7, the 2 ahead fighting. They're next up, and they're going to fight away into turn 1, slow themselves up big time, and we could do a number on Albon here if we're lucky, but not to be. We maintain P7 for now. Onto lap 6 though, a bit of a scare. Albon's got away. And that's a slight red flag, white flag, and a black flag, because that pace is quite frankly illegal from him. But on the end of the lap, coming on to lap number 7, as we come through the final 2 corners, we are right on the back of him once again, and life is good. We have slightly cut that corner a bit, but
we don't need to talk about that.
We're going to have DRS and slipstream and all the ERS and fuel at our availability, and it's going to be very good news, because if we minced Verstappen with DRS, it should be the same. Braking as late as we ever do, we go around the outside of both of them, but no, we lock it up. We've made an absolute horse's arse of that corner, and we let them both through because that was, well, quite frankly unfair that, one, we didn't get a warning or an illegal overtake penalty of some kind. But Verstappen is now sniffing all over our rear end. That is a bit too saucy. Can you back off, Verstappen, please? However, we're beginning to lose it as we're sliding all over the place. We've completely lost our composure, and Verstappen trying to go around the outside. We're just going to squeeze him off the road, show him no remorse, and as a result, him and Hulkenberg are scrapping away. And I believe Hulkenberg got supremacy, but we're going to come into the pits now onto the mediums. And with a big burnout on new tyres, it's game on. End of that same lap, lap 8. Butler's out of the race, but no one cares. What we do care about is undercutting some remedials, and we easily pass Verstappen and Perez. We've absolutely caught them napping, and that is us into P11, which is excellent. And as we come on to the end of lap number 9, even more cars coming into the pit lane. We caught up to Giovinazzi, who was a good 3 seconds ahead of us. So these medium tyres have electric pace. And cars in the pit lane, we won't get past Vettel. He was miles ahead anyway. But we get past Albon with absolute ease. P5. And I think that's the highest we can get. However, hold your horses, because the track is drying out, and about bloody time it did as well, if only it did that a lap earlier. But as we come across the line, it's the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so maybe there is a fastest lap point for pride in it for us still. However, Charles Leclerc takes it off us. Great. End of lap 11, it's been 2 purple sectors. Hamilton sets the fastest lap with a 1:40. Rapidly, the track is getting quicker and quicker. We're going wide. Vettel gets the fastest lap. What are we going to do with our interesting esports lines? It's a low 1:40, and there's still hope left for us. Because while we may not have the fastest lap coming onto the final lap, we have saved so much ERS, and the track is at its prime condition coming onto the final lap, and we are just going to push, and get that fastest lap here at the Russian Grand Prix. And we better bloody pray we do, because I haven't got much left in this race. We were catching up to Vettel at a rapid rate of knots once the track dried out. However, if only it had been dry the whole race, I'm sure we probably, most definitely would have been on the podium. But not to be. But there is still a fastest lap for grabs, so you never know. An extra point is in it. Hamilton wins the Grand Prix, but the fastest lap is ticking down. But with 2 purple sectors, I'm sure we've got it. P5 and fastest lap. Yes!
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot. A well-earned victory for Mercedes.
Get in there, Lewis. Miracles do happen, mate.
Hamilton collects what I believe to be his 8th win of the entire season. The man is genuinely unstoppable. I don't think we're going to be able to catch him anymore, lads. However, let's not get too bogged down. We did get the fastest lap, and as a result, an extra point away from the top 4. Hulkenberg was the closest to us, actually. So that would have been embarrassing if a Renault had got it from us. But not to be. We do get the pride. Norris with a good P3, bringing the podium home for McLaren. Not a lot else to say. It should have been better, but it wasn't. And I think I could have driven a bit better in the wet phase of the race. But not to be. It is P5. Not a bad job, all things considered.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. How do you think Devon will react to having not been able to finish today's race?
Do you know what my genuine answer is? Who gives a fuck?
How do you feel the weather affected the outcome today?
Well, if it was dry, I would have done better. That's all there is to say, really.
Great. Well, that's everything.
A competent interview from Claire? What simulation are we living in here? Anyway, in the rivalry, we are winning, but only just. Resource points wise, we collect a bunch. Not the cleanest race from us, I will admit, but it is a grand total of 1,489 resource points. We complete the team goal of 1 clean race very easily. All the teams love us, except for Ferrari and Mercedes, who are salty they didn't get the fastest lap.
That's a great result. You did really well. I don't think we can have any complaints with that performance.
Cheers, Cupcake. Here we are for contract negotiation. And as you can see, it's a decent-ish contract. However, there's a lot more to squeeze, I am sure. So as you can see, with the settings here, they accept immediately. I could have pushed more, but it's not a bad contract at all. I will take that. Upgrades-wise, I'm actually going to get an upgrade. Drag upgrade right now. And with the rest of our resources, we are going to spend them in preserving some of our power upgrades. 2 down the middle. Very nice work. And with that, one final look at the standings before we end off the episode. We're second in the driver's standings still. However, the gap to Hamilton is alarming. Nearly 60 points in it. So we need to do better next time out and make sure he doesn't win. Either that or finishing ahead of him will be ideal. And Bottas is catching us up, so that's not good news. What is good news, though? Norris back up to P7, which is excellent stuff. And even more excellent, McLaren has a sizable cushion to Ferrari, maintaining second place in the Constructors' standings. That's all well and good, but I'd say we are definitely in the championship fight, and 60 points is a sizable gap to try and munch up. So we need to do better, like I said. Japan and Mexico, our next episode. Japan, very strong track for the AI. Mexico, I'm not too sure. However, we need to up our game and really ensure that we are well and truly in the fight. With that in mind, thank you all for watching this episode of my F1 2019 career mode. If you did enjoy, slap like, smash subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because that way you will not miss a single one of my uploads, and I'd be very grateful if you could do all of that. I also have some social medias you should definitely go and follow. My Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, Discord, and my Twitch are all in the description. Give them a follow / join them. It is very, very good fun. Until the next video, whatever that video may be, once again, thank you all ever so much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you very soon.